What is going on, everybody? So this video is going to be a little bit more value based and a little bit more behind the scenes of like the technical things. So far, mostly the videos I do on YouTube is just like update videos and talking a little bit more about my thoughts. But now I want to start actually doing some interesting things that people can kind of take in their business and do for themselves. I'll mainly with this try to use client cases or like things to do with my own business. So today I want to talk about a little bit more like the tech behind the website and the CRM system I use, and kind of how that plays into the bigger picture. So first of all, this will there's a lot going on, but I kind of want to make these videos like per section and per step, so it's a little bit more digestible and easy to implement if this is to be implemented in your business. So right now I'll only talk about the contact form and like the system I have for that. So just to get into it, whenever of course on my website I push people towards the contact page, like coming out means get started, and then they land here. Of course they can take contact in like through email / phone, visit me, but I usually try to push them towards a form. And of course if you're in ads or whatever, you can also run them to a similar form, and here they can choose services, so website, SEO, meta ads, AI / automation, something else, and then they do send a text, and then I kind of want to go over the whole flow I have here. So this is within GoHighLevel and the website is in Framer, so that's kind of how I've set it up. So this is an embedded form from GoHighLevel, so you just put a little piece of code, you make a form first in GoHighLevel, then you put a piece of code here, and so whenever someone fills out this form, they automatically come into the system, because then this triggers the form submitted. Then you get into the next step, which would create an opportunity. So this will put them into my CRM. I can quickly show that. So let's see. I just wanted to show. Try not to show a lot of people information. Let's just say this one. So then they come into the lead section. Whenever they fill out the form, that's the first step. Then they get an email saying, hey, thanks for taking contact, we'll take contact soon, and then I send them to my website, to my blog, and to my service page. This you can go a little bit more in depth, and what I've done sometimes I like send one other email with more like value-based testimonials and something else like that. I send an email to myself, which is of course very important, so I know a lead came in. So right now I just send it to me as a user. You can also, for clients for example, I then have a notification to the email they want, or send like to their own CRM system. But this is I think the more important thing, and this more towards like long-term thinking and what you want to do in the future in your business. So as I said, there's different services they can select, these ones, and then I've set up the automation. So whenever, for example, someone clicks website Netsia, they will automatically get tagged with the tag Netsia website, and this is for all other services as well. The thought here is that, let's say, okay, they fill out a form, which is good. We close them, even better. Let's say we don't close them. And now they're in our CRM system, but what do we do with them? Sometimes, okay, they don't get closed, we might push them to a follow-up sequence, something like that. But then more importantly, now I at least know who they are in my pipeline and what they are interested in the first place. So the main thought process here is that, let's say in 5 months time after they fill out the form, I'm thinking about doing like a website launch or like a service for my websites, then I can send out an email to all the people who are tagged in the website because they were interested in the website. Of course, when they're a client, you kind of want to untag them in a way, or like have them separate tag maybe for them, so they don't get those emails. But for all the people who weren't closed at one point, they still wanted the websites from you. So that's quite interesting to kind of think about how can you build up a nice database of potential leads, clients, warm, cold, the whole shebang actually. Because then in the future you can just send out an email and say, maybe let's say, hey, we are launching a new offer and websites are half price, just to say something quick. Not that I think that's a good offer, but just to say something. And then if they didn't close 5 months ago, maybe now they're like 5 months later and they still not happy with the website they have, because maybe that's why they took contact, and now you're offering a 50 off. Amazing. On the other hand, you can also say website. Okay, if they want website, they probably want SEO on Google Ads as well on top of that. So you can say, hey, you took contact because you're interested in websites. How's the traffic on your website looking? Like, these are kind of off the top of my head, so they're not amazing, but it's just to show, just to tag and have like a system in place so you can actually filter people towards different groups is amazing, because these people, website clients, want very different things than AI/automation clients or than meta ads clients. So it's good to kind of know where they're at. And of course, not all people who are going to fill out the website tag are all going to be wanting a new website. They're not all the same, but there's only so much we can do. And this is a good, this is a super easy automation sequence. So this is like super easy to do. I've done this for like other clients, like my accountant. I've set up something similar. So then we have like the company structure. So like, are you AS, which is like limited organization, limited Inc., or like Enkelpersoonlijk, which is just like a freelancer, or like all these things. So then, for example, for him, it's almost even more interesting, because then let's say at the end of the year, when there's a lot of, let's say, leads in his business, and then every year you have to send in a yearly report, like a month or let's say 4 months before, we can say, hey, we saw you're interested. The yearly reporting is going to come soon. Do you need help with that? And then let's say after like 2-3 years of running ads and getting traffic and just building out this database, maybe let's say you have 100 people ready to be sent an email to that are tagged AS, which is like limited Inc. That's a very decent way to do it. And 100 is like quite low, but it's just to show like, okay, after a while you maybe build up like a bigger database. So then you just send the email every year in a decent time before the yearly report is ready to go. And then you have like a potential very easy way to sell to these people, because maybe they weren't clients with you then, but then maybe 2 years later they're struggling with your accounting, and then you can send an email, hey, I see, you just know when the date is. So, hey, the yearly report is coming up. Do you need help? And if they say no whatsoever, that's okay. But if they say yes, there you go. It's like you build up a database, and it's also a little bit more predictable sometimes, because after a while you can understand, okay, if I send these kind of emails, maybe I get 1 or 2 clients from them. So you can kind of predict a little bit easier as well, because you just build up the database, and that's super valuable. So that's just one quick setup I've done now with most clients, especially when I use Framer. Then I just use this form sequence, and the same goes for Facebook forms and ads I run. It's like I have like another trigger sometimes here, which is Facebook lead form trigger. So then it's like a very similar process as this: opportunity, email, internal notification, and I try to tag them with something. Very simple video, and that's kind of how I want to keep this, just like one thing at a time, and then after a while we'll build up a nice portfolio of good tips and good videos. So I hope this was anywhere to an interesting scale. I think so. I think it's very interesting, but of course I'm a little bit biased because I'm building this and I'm making it, so it's a little bit more interesting for me, but I hope it helps someone.